Welcome to my video game demonstration for my game, Space Jumper. Starting the game brings us into the game world. In the game world, players will quickly notice that gameplay consists of jumping, running left and right, and then pressing left on the mouse will allow the player to throw ninja stars, and pressing right on the mouse will allow players to access their blade. The purpose of this game is for players to reach the end of the level. However, it's not that simple. Along the way, players will find that there's obstacles such as the spikes here, the lava below, as well as enemies which damage the player. However, not all is bad in this world. There's also things that are meant to help the player, such as lives, coins which add on to their score, as well as heart containers which replenish health. I will be quickly demonstrating the health restoration. Say a player is attempting to quickly rush the level and they find themselves in a situation where they forget to jump here. They are quickly down to 1 health. Due to the fact that they do not know what awaits them in front of them, they may find themselves in a position where they want to collect a life. They can simply do that by jumping back and interacting with the block here. Upon using your blade by pressing right, you can destroy the block. In doing so, it will allow you to access the object. Be careful, however, because one wrong step, and you will find yourself in the lava and potentially ending your game. Here, the competitive players who want to have the highest score possible will find themselves in a position where they want to collect this coin. However, doing so will automatically allow that enemy to potentially damage them. So for strategic players, they will have to find a way to open up the block without taking any damage from the enemy. Speaking of health, players can restore their health by finding these heart containers in the map. These heart containers replenish your health. Here, players are faced with a choice. Competitive players, once again, want the coin. They want to add to their score in order to be able to brag to their friends that they have a higher score. However, upon breaking this block, we find that the coin has no surface below it, potentially killing the player because of the lack of a surface. However, if a player carefully goes to the edge and grabs the coin, they will find themselves that they got themselves an easy 100 points, but that came at a risk. Moving on, we find ourselves with some more coins, some more enemies, and finally we find ourselves at the exit gate. Upon arriving at the exit gate, players will have a choice whether or not they want to exit by pressing W on the keyboard. The reason this is a choice is for those competitive players who want to go back, those competitive or perfectionist players who want to go back and collect all the items possible. If I were to have made it where the level automatically ends when you reach a certain zone, then those perfectionist players, those competitive players, will potentially lose some of their items and not be able to access them later on. So now I'm going to exit by pressing W on the keyboard, and it brings us to our credit scenes. Pressing W here allows us to start a new game, but before that, we view our final score. Final score is calculated by taking the amount of time remaining and adding it on to your score that you had before the game ended. So those players who want to compete with friends, family, or anybody in general may find themselves that the quicker they beat the game while simultaneously collecting the game objects and destroying enemies will just increase this number, making this a challenge of time and skill. And just to quickly wrap up the video, I'll be showing my best attempt at beating the game as quickly as possible in order to maximize my score. And keep in mind that my previous score was approximately around 5,000. Here I missed this coin. Got to avoid the enemies that unfortunately lost some health there. Now for this final enemy, and we find ourselves with approximately similar score. So that means that I am not very good at the game and I did not beat it as quickly as I thought I did. And that concludes part 1 of the demonstration. Thank you.